Hello everyone, Eddie here, Minecraft Realms. Well, it was gonna be Minecraft Realms, but they're messing me about. Oh, it let me in. For the last 5 minutes it's not let me in. Bones, haha, I'm in. That's good, that is good. Woohoo, Minecraft Realms. I thought we were gonna have to do a little solo world for a bit so I could have a chat. Um, yeah, where to start? What's gone on? What's occurred? What's happened? Well, scoots down here. Boom, 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 boom. Come on last night and... Oh, it's my sign. Sorry, brain's not working. Come on last night and me and Deven stood here for, oh, must be half an hour. Just chatting via the chat messages. We discussed huge amounts of things. Like where the realms are going, what's working right, what's not working right, any concerns we have and stuff like that. And the good news is, very little is wrong. We also discussed the fact that we all missed Jeremy, but Jeremy's over at the UFO, so we have Jeremy Jr. And yes, that has nearly cleaned me out of quartz. Cheers for making it out of quartz, Lord Raven. That has crippled me. Saps, I borrowed some of your wool. Can you guess what colours? Because I didn't have enough of the yellows. I went and gathered what I could find elsewhere, shaved a cut of Lord Raven's sheep, and I still didn't have enough, so I borrowed some of your yellow. So I hope you don't mind. So I made Jeremy, because we were discussing, we both missed Jeremy, and we were watching a crazy villager. And it was the villager that was over here in the minecart. It is not dead. The villager from the minecart, it might be dead now, but it wasn't dead then. It was running around, and come night time, it'd either disappear into the chicken shack, disappear into my butcher's shop, or disappear into Seth's, which is a good little wool shop. Get loads of stuff in here. Very handy, very handy last night that was. So yeah, so it was going in there, and we thought, oh, if one villager can survive, can the rest? So we might be letting the villagers loose. It's up to Deven. We can always breed in more ones. As long as we keep a couple back, we can always breed in more. It's not a problem. So I built a few extra little houses. Very simple. Went and raided everywhere I could find for sand again. Got tons of bone meal from my spawning thing underneath my sewers to make the white stained glass, which looks better than the clear glass in these builds. That looks so much better in these little houses. So I made some of them, so if we do release the villagers, we've got loads of little houses, and each of them have got loads of doors. This one's got 3 doors, for instance. This one has 4 doors, so if it gets accepted as part of the village, we should be breeding more villagers as well. Oh, get one up here. Might do another one up here later. So with luck, we might be releasing the villagers very soon, which could be good, which could be very good. But due to the fact I'm out of quartz, I'm going to have to go on a nether run, because I'm liking my quartz. I don't like running out of quartz. What have we got? Tools. Where's my nether tools? Keep silky on me. Shouldn't need that. Keep that as a backup. Keep that as a backup. Definitely need my bow. I've got 64 arrows. Won't need a hoe. A bucket. Oh, I could bring back some lava. I need that on me just in case. And a stack of stone will do. Stone will do for blocks. Thinks, have I got any glass? Or did I use it all yesterday? White stained there. 3 sand, perfect. Perfect. 3 is all I need. Boop. Oh no, brain fart. My head went. I need to know what I need. I need another what? Redstone. Can you see where I'm thinking? Oh. No blaze. No blaze. I wonder if we've got Home Sweet Home's got any blaze bits. I only want a little bit of blaze powder. Because I don't really want to try and make it in an hour. With a bit of luck, Deven's been harvesting. Oh, that was me. I made little signs for Deven. So if you want to feed the villagers, I made Mushroom Village. Needs a few finishing touches. Yep, Deven, they may need a little bit of Deven magic. I've done the basics on them, built the outside, but they might need some tidying up on the insides, etc. If you would like to do that, I'd be much appreciated, because you are, I say, so much better than me at it. You are better than me at it by a mile. Where are blaze bits likely to be? It never was. Nope. Up in the magic bob drops, I have enders, so there has been some blaze. Cake. That's all going to be string. That'll all be feathers, because we've got thousands of feathers. Torches. Torches. Magma cream. Blaze rod. Well, if I pinch a blaze rod, because I don't want to take the magma cream, but I do want to make a magma cream, which is what I need a slime ball for. Can you see what I'm doing here? Yeah, I remember the door closes itself. Yeah, all lit up with glowstones. All done with the shrooms method of a slab of dirt over the top. So it causes a dark patch and you can put your mushroom down and just bone meal it like crazy. And here we go. Oop. Now that glass should be done. Yes. And we need to go boop, 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 nearly. 3 glass bottles. Now I have to ask myself, why in the whole of this house I haven't got a water? Why, oh why, haven't I got an infinite water? It's time to remedy that. There should always be in a house an infinite water supply. Go to my favourite watering hole. Boop. And let's do my favourite little trick for infinite water. I need to find a wall, which that one looks good if there's nothing missing underneath it. That should do, and that should do. Now, no, I'm not using that as a bit vicious for this job. Perfect. Perfect. We'll have 1 drop there, and 1 drop there, which means underneath that light is the infinite pool. We'll take the 2 of them, and we'll go boop there, and boop there, so that's the infinite pool. Go to my stone, drop that one off. Sorry Deven, this is a bit of a mess. I've let it get a little bit out of hand, but I will tidy it up later. That's when I was doing a bit of clearing inventory yesterday, so I could get ducks and that made. Upside down stair there. Wrong one. Same with my wood one. My wood one's worse. So that now gives us infinite water, so I can fill my bucket up. I can fill all my bottles up. And it's discreet, it's out of the way. Doesn't cause anybody any harm when I've got water in my house. So if you ever want nice easy water, that's the way to do it. And I missed fitting one. And I really need to put these chests somewhere else. They're in the wrong place. Boop. There we go. Yeah. I'm not going into the nether today without a bit of protection. Because I may be in there a while. So a bit of nether wart to make the awkward potion. It's at night time. We can always sleep while that cooks off. Boop. And jump down. Feather falling boots for the win. Has that gone through yet? Yep. Magma cream, which will turn it into a fire resist potion. And this is the only potion I know off by heart. Every other potion I haven't got a clue at. Right, let's put that blaze powder up where I can find it when I need it. And it is a very small hitbox. Potion of fire resistance 3 minutes. Chuck in a blob of redstone and it will extend it to 8 minutes. That just makes it a little bit easier to wander around the nether with gas setting you on fire and everything. Speaking of ghasts, I need that there. Water, not going to need because it doesn't work, so I can go into tools. Buckets in case I find any lava. Blocks back on the bar. And that should give us fire resist 8. Then we are safe to go to the nether. Which kind of indirectly brings me on to some of the things me and Deven were talking about last night. She knows I love building survival. Always have done, always will. Even that damn duck. That damn duck, which is really a chicken. Built survival. Dirt pillars everywhere to get into it. I had ladders going up inside it to make it. And it gives that sense of self-satisfaction. Ooh, excuse the foghorns going, there's something happening in the harbour. It gives a sense of satisfaction of doing it. Same with the clock tower, and you build it bit by bit, it gives you that satisfaction. That tower behind my duck, it looks like it's got a crown. Yeah. So I know Deven's doing all this survival. Whatever she puts in while flying in creative mode, she chucks the equivalent resources away. She only uses the flying mode to fly with. She doesn't use it to give her resources. We are... I wouldn't say that's the right word. We don't mind. We don't mind survival builds. We don't mind Saf doing some incredible builds in survival. It's not a problem. Me and Deven, we like the survival builds. Other people don't like them. It's not a problem. It is each to their own. We do need to address a couple of bits which I brought up and Deven kind of agrees. So it's a tricky one, but I shall discuss it as we narrate, because it's easier to walk and talk. When you've got people playing survival, which like me and Deven do most of the time. I'll fly occasionally. If I'm one block of quartz short after making 10,000 bits of quartz, and I want to just finish a build off rather than going to Nether to get one bit of quartz, I will magic in a bit of quartz. But I won't magic in 10,000 quartz to build it. Which is where my little dilemma comes in, see. Where I play survival as not like as a rule, but as my general style of playing. When people prank, I prank survival. Hello, big men. I prank survival mode. I build my prank in survival. I bred all those sheep for Royal Raven in survival. I came in on and off over the course of a day just breeding sheep. Deven came along and bred them even more. Woo, that nearly needed me potion. There's a little dark, I do apologise, it's very dark in here today. We play survival, and when we get pranked, we like it to be survival. If you know what I mean. If someone's pranked us in survival, we can unprank it in survival. Deven's Oreo cookie she made of my spaceship. I finally, after explaining from her, oh, hello. After a little bit of, oh, that's why I have fire protection in the Nether. After a little bit explaining from Deven, it was an Oreo cookie she turned my spaceship into. Soon as she mentioned, you check back 2 or 3 videos. I'm not going to get none of that, am I? That's gone. No ghosts here for me. As soon as she mentioned she was going to prank me back, she started mentioning Oreo cookies. That's when she started collecting snow and harvesting black sheep and getting black wool, harvesting black sheep, but shearing black sheep and getting wool. Feather folding boots. Let's make a bridge. So she was literally, as soon as she started doing that, she started clearing, which is why I can well believe that every single item there was quite happily garnered and harvested and collected, all in survival. Because I know what Deven's like. She will sit there and she will do it. My huge prank of 4 bits of wood or 6 bits of wood and a door, well, for the Mntdewmanias, not difficult to do survival. It's ever so easy to get a door. It didn't exactly task me to get a door. But it's when, I mean, I'll use an example, and I promise you, Raven, I'm not picking on you, fella. You're just an example because it's a good example. When you get a chain made of bedrock, he knows I can break it. It's not a problem. He knows I'll just flick into creative and break it. When you get a chain made of bedrock, you know it's not a survival build. You know it's been put in creative, or created in, if you know what I mean. The resources were created in. Now, that's not saying I didn't find it incredibly funny, because I did. I loved that chain so much. I probably would have chuckled more if it had been obsidian. Easier to break, I know, but it would have felt more more survival. Definitely more survival. That's a bit dangerous, not getting that one. It would have felt more survival to me. And it is me. It's my personal thing. Oh, here we go. Where are you? Where are you shooting from? Yeah. Ooh, quartz. Ooh, piece of candy. Yeah, it's my personal thing. It's not anything against the people who would prank and create. It's, you know, it's not me picking on anyone. It's not me, certainly not me picking on Lord Raven, because I think he is a stellar dude. I really do. I think what he does for me in magicality and trying to teach me these damn magic lessons, even though I'm falling behind, he still carries on teaching me. I have no qualms at all with Lord Raven. I look on Lord Raven now and Scoops and that as mates. I really do. But I've got to get across to my mates in the nicest way possible that I play survival. And having chatted with Deven last night, we didn't make a rule as such. What we kind of thought of is if we put it as a guideline to people and say, look, this is how we feel, this is what we think should be right. And I'm 99, I'm doing it a silk touch, that's wasteful, isn't it? I'm 99% sure people will agree, won't bat an eyelid, won't be fuss, nothing like that. Everyone will be quite happy to do it. But we've kind of come to the conclusion that it would be nice to have any pranking as survival pranking, because that way it doesn't conflict with people who play in survival mode. If you want to build in creative, me and Deven perfectly happy with that. We don't mind. If you want to do a bit of survival, bit of creative, it suits. We don't want people not to have fun, and I feel bringing this up doesn't ruin people's fun, but I don't want it to temper their fun. But I'd like them to, I don't know, not work harder for the prank, but see the prank from my point of view, if you know what I mean. If someone was to prank me, I'd really love them to do it in survival, because I'll clear it in survival. Deven's prank, I cleared with a shovel. Well, actually, with 38 stone shovels, I cleared the snow. So I made myself 6 shears to clear the wool off the outside of the spaceship. Then realised shears don't actually take wear and tear when you do wool. So I managed to clear all the wool with one set of shears with no damage on it at all. So I have spare shears if anybody wants them. But I have a double chest of snow, and I have nearly a double chest of black wool. I did lose some because I couldn't be bothered to jump down every now and then and get it. Now, to me, that says, Deven, come over, put a double chest down, filled it with snow after a couple of trips, put another double chest down, filled it with wool after a couple of trips, and sat there and used it. And talking to Deven, she said she took 3 hours just to put the wool and snow all over my UFO. And I can well believe it, because it took me 4 hours to clean it up. Now, I must admit, hand on heart, I was a little bit, not peeved, not annoyed, not anything like that, but I was a little bit exhausted after cleaning it up. And I thought, okay then, I'm not going to prank Deven again, because she gets back big. If I do pranks, they're only going to be small, but they'll be survival small. It'll be stuff that I've gathered like this, tromping around an ever, minding my own business, gathering quartz. I mean, what have I got? I've got 2 stacks so far. It out of me fortune pick, that'll probably give me 3 stacks of quartz thingies, which will give me a stack and a bit maybe. No, not a stack and a bit. Just under a stack, 3/4 of a stack. Of course, quartz blocks. Oh, I'm not doing that. Now I know that on that chicken I used, I'm trying to think, must have been 2 to 3 stacks of quartz. Because I had to keep nipping back to my spaceship and seeing what I had there. I even pinched some out of Home Sweet Home, which is part of the reason why I want to do this today. And gather some back. If you excuse my lad in the background, he's YouTubing. He's having a chuckle at his tubes. So I want to gather some back so I can put a little bit back into Home Sweet Home, because I do owe it. And I don't mind topping up the resources in Home Sweet Home, because if I'm short on something, that's my first port of call. But I do like to gather my stuff first. And it kind of goes back to why I do survival. I could have built my spaceship in, say, 2 hours in creative, flying around, pop, 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 built it. It probably would have looked better. It probably would have had more stuff in it. It would have had coloured glass in the windows. It would have had glowstone all over it. And it would look good, and I'd think, yeah, that looks really cool. I'm proud of that build. But my mindset is where I've never really played creative. And I've only played survival. From day one, my first game was survival. Where I've never really played creative and built in creative, I wouldn't feel as if I'd built it properly. I'd feel like the architect was taking shortcuts and put cheap concrete in a building. I wouldn't I wouldn't go so far as to say it would feel cheaty, because it wouldn't. I don't feel using creative is cheating. Using creative is using part of the game. But it just wouldn't feel complete to me. Oh, you... Can I get you without falling in? No. No. And no. Gone forever. It's... It's a people's taste, really. I have immense admiration for Sap's builds. I know she does it in, well, does a lot of it in creative. But she's got a talent, and it's almost like she needs to let that talent go and let that talent out. And that's her way of showing it. It is far from my position to turn around and say, oh no, don't do that, it's creative server. It's not a creative server, it's a survival server. That's wrong, it's not a survival server, it's not a creative server, it's a fun server. You come in and you have fun. All I've asked of Deven, and Deven agrees with me on this one, is that if we do pranking, it should be in the harder of the two options, survival and creative. Because otherwise we could do huge pranks in creative, which takes no gathering of resources, no planning ahead, and we can go out and prank someone who does survival like me, and they will sit there and they will try and take it down in survival, because that's the way we are. We're kind of like a little bit obsessive when it comes to stuff like that. We'll sit there quite happily. Someone's been here, probably me. We're quite obsessive. We'll come in and we'll do everything in survival because that's the way we play. And you don't mind doing that if you feel that someone else has put the same effort in. It's like having chatted with Deven. I don't feel bad now about the 4 hour clean-up. 4 hour clean-up, Deven. I don't feel so bad about it now, because I know she spent 4 hours plus making it. What with the harvesting of the snow from a little snowman in the fishing shack, and the shearing of the black sheep. She spent more than 4 hours doing it. So it kind of balances. If you do a big prank, where are you shooting from? It should cost. Over there. Where over there? I can't even see you. Oh, that's a bit out of order when you can't even see the target, isn't it? One shot. I'm getting better at this. When you can't even... don't feel so bad taking it down if you know that the person who's made it has put the same effort in as you're taking it out. Eek. Right, I'm going to do this the easy way. You can have creative effects in survival. I'll show you. Creative, you can walk through lava. You can swim across it. You can do that in survival. Make a magic potion. Everything is kind of doable apart from the flying, which is why that was the predominant reason we didn't mind having creative on it, so people could fly. Because I know Deven loves jetpacks and loves to fly. And when people started building in creative, it was like, well, don't mind, they're having fun. It is not a problem. But really, hand on heart, I'm not going to survive that with Feather Falling. Hand on heart, I think it's only fair that we kind of restrict the pranking to creative, to survival. It's open to discussion. Feel free to put in the comments how you feel on it. So I know 90% of the people on the realms watch the episodes and watch my episodes. And I did say to Deven that I'd broach the subject. It's not a case of we're not bullying anyone. It's not a case of Deven wants to take control or Eddie wants to take control. It's not that. It's not that. We want to keep the fun. And we know a lot of you guys who play on it enjoy the creative side and enjoy that side of it. And I would too. I've got my own little creative land. Do you know what I built in it? I built a zombie go-round. Ooh, who put that there? And all I've got is basically it's a loop just above the ground with a villager in a minecart that at night we'll quite happily go round and round and round this loop. The zombies come and stand underneath the bit that's raised off the ground and go round in circles underneath it. And that was the only thing I could think to make in creative when I was there. But it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. And the stuff I made it out of, I could quite easily come back. Did I just pick that with the wrong pick? I bet I did, didn't I? No, I did it with the right pick. I could have quite easily gone back to my UFO, grabbed the bits I needed and made it in survival. And I thought, why am I doing this? And I didn't feel bad about doing it, because I said that's my little creative area for having a creative mess about. But I think pranking should be done in survival, just so anyone that sort of laughs at it and joins in on it knows that the same effort was put into it that would be put into it taking it down. Balances it, makes it fair, I think. As I say, what do you think? Sling it in the comments. I know I've waffled on about it for ages now, and I didn't really want to waffle on about it, and now I've got to try and find my way back to the portal, and this is a dead end. Why am I trying to get up there? Because that might not be a dead end up there. Where's jump boost when you need it? Oh, that's good. That worked really well. That worked extremely well. Oh, speaking of which. Hello, Mr. Piggyman, you did the same thing I did. Yeah. So, if you can bear in mind, if you're going to do a prank, could we possibly do it in survival? Yeah, vanilla survival, rather than creative. Because that way we know the same effort's put in to putting it in as taking it down. That is my zombie go round. Night time, zombies go underneath here, and I sat there and watched it because it was quite funny, and I had 6 zombies just doing this, trying to chase this villager inside the circle, and it was making me chuckle. I stood up there on a little dirt platform, chuckling around, and it's a giggle. That's, to me, that is what I used creative for. Red wool, I could have used any colour wool. Redstone blocks, I've got tons of redstone. Rails, I've got gold and iron back in town to make rails with. None of that did I need to make in creative. It could just so easily been done normally. But it was a laugh, it was a giggle, and it just took my mind off something at the time. Oh no, it's a pig man. I was going to say it's a zombie man, but it's not. It's a pig man. Hello. Oh, in your head. Right, let's wander back to town now and work out how we will go away. A little bit cramped in there with pigmen in there. Now, but if you could, when we're pranking, just keep the pranks to survival. I know I'm saying it again. It'd be really appreciated. I think it will just make us feel better. Also, we all know where we stand in that if someone's made a huge prank, we know they've done that in survival, so they put a lot of effort into it. And it'll appreciate it more, and the people who watch it will appreciate it more. That's been sat there for ages, I'm stealing it now. Oop, I made a mess, didn't I? Yeah, so everyone will appreciate the prank more. It's, oh, I don't know. Call me a moany old git if you want, because I'm a moany old git. But I don't want us to lose the fun of the server. The fun of the server is the fun of the server, and it is what makes it special. But then I don't want to lose. It's what's the word? I don't want to lose the feeling of not legitimacy, but the feeling of the comfort zone of knowing that the survival, the pride we've put into it for the survivals. Yeah. If you got if you got a creative urge that needs to come out and you need to go and do creative build like Saph does, they're beautiful builds. Would never dream of stopping her doing it. Or Nunny sits there, she'll occasionally do creative. But another example of pranking with Nunny's one, love Nunny to pieces. But when she filled Home Sweet Home with villagers, we know Nunny didn't breed them villagers up. We know she didn't make a villager spawn and breed them in. They were done with spawn eggs. Whilst incredibly funny, and we did chuckle. We did think it was hilarious. And I did know Nunny's original plan, which was vanilla. She was going to go and get as many cats as she could, bring them all back and just park them all inside. But that failed because of finding jungles and finding cats in jungles. But it's Deven felt that all the villagers there weren't legitimate to the world, therefore she couldn't keep them, so she's ended up lavering most of them. Some of them she's brought out here, some of the originals from inside she brought out here, because they all got kind of mixed up and nobody knew who was who. But it needs to... Shrooms for rent. I'm sorry, that just tickled my just seen. It's stuff like that tickles me. That really makes me laugh. People, all I'm asking is stay as you are, do as you do. I love it, we love it. Deven hasn't got any problems. I haven't got any problems with the way people are building and what they're building. We think it's fantastic. I'm only asking about the prank side of it. Yeah? Because if you're pranking someone who does stuff, stupid stuff like this, in survival, if someone was to cover that in clay, in creative, and I have to come along and play in survival and take all the clay off in survival, it's a little bit unfair on the person being pranked. It's make it fair. It's keep it fair. It hasn't been unfair so far. What I'm trying to say is it has the potential to become unfair. Let's not let it go there. Right, enough moaning from me. That was a lot longer moan than I expected it to be. But having chatted with Deven, it does seem that we're thinking along similar lines. The potential for things to go wrong is there, and we'd sooner not have it go wrong before it does. Like, chicken. That is brilliant. I love that chicken. Wouldn't swap it for the world. If it was 100% creative, which there's a chance it is, because I mean I've built that in creative. Not creative, it's 100% survival, which there's a good chance it is because I built that in survival, therefore Lord Raven could. That's how easy it was for me in 10 minutes to go and get a shed load of quartz. Fortune 3, that there's loads of it. So that I'm quite happy to believe, it's not a problem. But the potential for someone to cover somebody's whole house in quartz, or somebody's whole house in diamond blocks, yeah. With a good example, best example ever, someone was to cover Saph's house in obsidian, and Saph had to chip away at it in survival, say, the person who put the obsidian there should really have collected the obsidian for the same amount of time to do it. Balances out, makes it fair, doesn't it? That's about the best example I can get. Right, mowing over. The only other quick thing I wanted to mention, me and Deven also talked about 1.8. We're hoping that when 1.8 comes out, the world gen will world gen into the old world. So we might get the new rocks and stones in pre-spawn chunks. Not 100% sure. So we may end up keeping this world in 1.8, which I personally think would be great. If we can do that, brilliant. If we can't, start a new build, it's not a problem. What I will say is, if we do keep the old world and there's no new blocks here, I ain't bothered. I've seen the state of the new stones. Unless someone does something fantastic in the texture pack, the new stones and the new rocks, to me, not worth travelling 5,000 blocks that way to get one. So I won't be using them very often. Right, yeah, I think that's about covered it. Moan over, lecture over, carry on with what you're doing. Have a brilliant day, everyone. Thanks for listening to the old man who moans. See you next time. Bye.